30-second cloud developer roadmap. Go.
Okay.
So rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Okay. Linda, wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Is that it? Tell me 3 things that you think are similar between cloud developer and software engineer.
Having some of the scripting knowledge, I think does matter. You do more scripting though. The difference is the skill. Yeah, so I actually went to school. I was a philosophy major.
Sing professionally as well.
So I was a wedding singer for 10 years. Thing about me is I work in the cloud. And people always ask me, what in the world is the cloud?
Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have a special guest, Linda. Yay!
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I come to Seattle and I never miss it. I don't care if I'm here for 24 hours. We gotta see each other.
Yeah. So Linda is literally here for like 48 hours, and we were like, we have to sit down and we have to do this video for all of you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited.
We found the right spot. I feel like it's a good spot right
It's a good spot. Like there's like Seattle in the background.
Yeah.
Like the rain and everything.
We got the Seattle feels.
Yeah. All right. So Linda, for those of you who don't know, actually, why don't you do your intro?
Yeah.
And like the point that I want to get to, like she is a cloud developer and I really want to learn more. How in the world did she get here?
Yeah. So I am a cloud developer right now at AWS. And I had a journey that was very untraditional and I went through different roles, and we'll talk about that a bit, like software engineering to DevOps, to now working like more as a cloud developer advocate too. So really went through different shifts in tech, and I feel like we're all upskilling also and adapting, and probably there's some transferable skills also no matter what you're transitioning to within tech to take away. So yeah, we're always learning together. I learn a lot from Sundas.
And I learned a lot from you.
So I think how long have we known each other on Instagram? We met on Instagram like
5 years ago. I can't tell.
But
it seems like
it seems like forever.
Forever.
Quality always.
Quality.
Love you.
How did you become a cloud developer? Like,
yeah.
How in the world? Like, you didn't go to school for it.
Yeah. And I think there is a challenge also with cloud, like the concept of cloud.
Yeah.
Many people think like, oh, to get into cloud, I have to study cloud.
Yeah.
But there's so many cloud adjacent skills people do not realize, like programming, depending on what you will do in cloud, there's other skills and you don't have to learn all of them, but the path isn't always clear because there's programming, Linux, networking, and all those adjacent skills are things that maybe sometimes people start with before they get into cloud or maybe learn in a different order. So I think that's one thing that I want to kind of myth bust, because I think when people say cloud, there's this concept that people go straight into cloud but then are missing those fundamental skills that they need to know.
Right.
So my personal route was programming first because I was a software developer. So I started out doing JavaScript. I was a front-end developer, then went full stack. Then actually I was coding, I was building more data visualizations, a lot of that. And with JavaScript, the transition was actually interesting because with JavaScript, you could use it for a lot of different frameworks, front end and Node.js, more APIs. So then I got into APIs and slowly back end. But I think the thing for me was that I wanted to do more architecture. When you're a software engineer, you're working in the environment you're in, and I think certain parts seemed like a mystery to me. So out of curiosity, I was kind of looking to where all the other parts are going, and how is everything just, they don't get the credit so much, but like how is everything still functioning when you have millions of people?
Get the credit?
Well, I'm saying the back end people.
Oh, okay, the back end people.
I don't know why people. I need coffee.
Yeah, that's funny. It's 6 p.m. We're good.
6 p.m., but in New York time,
it's late.
Yeah, it's later.
Yeah.
And I have now a 8-month-old, a 7-month-old. It's my third kid. I'm outnumbered. I'm not trying to give excuses here, but I'm sleepless.
No, okay. Let's go back and let's recap.
Yes.
So you didn't go to school to become a cloud developer.
Yes.
You were a software engineer before.
Yes, I actually went to school. I was a philosophy major.
Okay.
So nothing to do with tech. Okay. Untraditional route. I actually thought I would go to law school, and post-college worked in TV. And during the TV time, I thought I would study for my LSATs and ended up randomly building a website for an anchor, started dabbling with some code, and I was like, I want to learn more about it. So I went to coding meetups and then realized I want to do this full time. So I quit my TV job, went to a coding boot camp, Flatiron School at the time. This was 10 years ago. And then made a shift into software development. And at that time, front end, and I started as a JavaScript developer. Mm-hmm. At the time, I was doing more front end, and which was very cool, except at that time you had to support multiple browsers like Internet Explorer.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times I was very unfulfilled. Like, what did you do today? I made this feature that took me 2 days to build work on Internet Explorer with 5 days of work. It was just one of those. It was fun. It was great. It was a great learning experience. But like for me, like my first 5 years of my career was more like software development, and then I went into more APIs, backend, and my next 5 years was more cloud infrastructure, DevOps, SRE, that kind of stuff. So I think I went to more the architecture, infrastructure end, and it was a natural next step. I'll talk more
So that's good, because I was going to ask you, like, would you ever go back to full stack software development?
I think there's so much that I still use within software development, because if I'm building a full-blown application, I'm still doing some software development, except I think in the past, I wasn't able to do it A to Z in the way I can having the cloud skills as well, because I'm able to make things that scale and efficiently, and like with DevOps, I'm able to do CI/CD pipelines, and I think like it's like the breadth versus depth type thing, where I say like you kind of need depth in something, and then you can have like some more breadth and build it out.
Right.
Although these days in 2024 with AI, I feel like there's so much changing with skill sets and even how to use. I think everybody's upskilling also in AI ML, and I feel like that's what I'm doing right now too.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm probably learning more about your turf, which is more in the data world, which I didn't know much about before. So I feel like I don't know. So crazy times.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So like as a cloud developer, you will work with AI, which is really cool.
Yes.
Cloud technology.
Yes.
And you merge the two. And a big part of your role is also like creating content.
Yes. Because I work as a cloud developer advocate.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about
that. So a cloud developer advocate is an interesting role. I like to compare it to a solution architect of it, because it has very similar skill sets. You're kind of building, but to teach and to guide. It could be customers. You might be like finding solutions for customers. In developer advocacy, your customer is the community at large. And so sometimes you might be doing that through video, and actually sometimes you're sitting within products before they're released, and you're kind of also helping, like pushing back, and you're kind of being an advocate for developers. Sounds funny. I'm like, actually the name actually matches. It used to be called technical evangelist in the past.
Oh, I've seen those at Microsoft.
Yeah.
They're still there.
They're still called. It used to be more speaking engagements and like closed rooms. And I think over the years, developer advocacy now has changed to also be
thanks in this content.
Yeah, technical. Here we are. You know, I used to think this is something I had to like hide from doing work. I was doing content creation on the side. Now it's like literally I got my job because of TikTok. No, seriously. Got my job.
How?
TikTok.
Tell me more.
I think somebody saw me on TikTok from AWS, and I always wanted to work. I was talking about, you kind of had to put it out there that you want something and do the job before. So I was always talking about AWS. I was in AWS. I was in the community. I was involved in the community. I was in the Community Builders Program, which is a program that you can join that it's like you apply, and it's like you could be from 5 years experience less, and if you are passionate about sharing online, it doesn't need to be content, it could be blogs. I mean, it doesn't have to be video, it could be blogs.
Yeah.
It's something you could apply to and be a part of the community. It's really helpful. And so I felt like I was already ingrained in the AWS community.
Yeah.
And it kind of naturally worked out, because I was also very visible on social media.
Yeah.
And I think
you're really good at it too.
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
She's awesome. I don't know if you've seen her.
They were looking for short form. Yeah, it's interesting because developer advocacy is really like also taking down a lot more like short form content, YouTube content, of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's really scaling reach, because we're all connecting on these platforms.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Real quickly, like tell me 3 things that you think are similar between cloud developer and software engineer.
Yeah, so I think having some of the scripting knowledge, I think does matter. You do more scripting though in the fundamentals are similar, right? You do the programming, you have some of the fundamentals of like the concept of modularity and like not one point of failure and all that. The difference is the scale. So I guess like when you're thinking about programming, you're programming within your environment. When you're thinking about cloud, you're thinking how would it work multi-cloud scaled efficiently, maybe hybrid cloud. So it's a different kind of like field of view where I think when I was programming, I was really focused on getting the features to work. But when I was doing more cloud computing, I'm dealing with how this architecture and the bigger picture will will work with.
On the topic of carving your career path, if you're looking to start your career in cloud, then you should look into this AWS Cloud Practitioner career track on Datacamp, who is also sponsoring this portion of the video. The career track not only prepares you for AWS Cloud Practitioner CLF CO2 exam, but also introduces you to the concepts and tools of cloud computing and teaches you essential AWS services, including C2 for scalable computing, S3 for secure storage, and RDS for efficient data management. These skills prepare you for cloud technical and non-technical roles, including sales, product management, and marketing. I have used Datacamp personally to develop my skills in data science. I really recommend them for their learning experience. With Datacamp, you learn through short videos followed by hands-on exercises, which really allow you to learn by doing it. There are tons of interactive exercises and real-life scenarios that prepare you for the real work. I'm linking the AWS Cloud Practitioner career track in the description below. And now let's go back to the video.
For those who have no idea what cloud is, I hope everybody who's watching this know what cloud is. Somebody who has no idea what cloud is, what is the simplest definition or analogy you can give?
Yeah, so I made a really quirky song about this.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Linda actually can sing, and she can sing really, really good. You sing professionally as well.
So I was a wedding singer for 10 years, and I guess that's why I like people.
Okay.
I mean, not why I like people, but I always liked people. When I was coding, that was my outlet.
Right.
Now you're my outlet.
Okay. So are you gonna sing a song?
Are we gonna sing a song?
Yeah. Tell us what cloud is.
Well,
in a song.
If you want to know what cloud is, then it was more rap. I feel like for this one, so it's not very vocal, but I would say the quick version before we sing is it's pretty much, instead of you having you're starting a company now, instead of you starting a company right now and having a server here right here and physically maintaining it and physically securing it and having one point of failure, you're practically renting it from companies. There are three big probably companies that do the public cloud, and it's Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. And you're renting what you need. You're paying only for what you need. But of course, on top of that, you now have all these other services built on top of all the fact that your data is all there. Right. And they are dealing with security. You're dealing with certain parts of security, but they're really taking care of a lot of things that would make it not possible for you sometimes to specialize in the business you want to specialize in. So for example, Netflix, they use AWS, and they maybe have a chaos engineering, all these other things, and we could remove that. But yeah, no, I'm saying because I know Google. I was just
no, I don't care.
So pretty much, a lot of people like saying it's like you're renting somebody else's computer instead of using your own computer. Of course, it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
You are paying for what you use. You could go to a console. You could just pick up the servers. You could scale. You could have them in different locations, and so on top of that, you have hundreds of services now on top of that. Right. So for example, if company A, company B, and company C all need the same feature, guess what? If you were your one company, you would have to put so much money to do this, economies of scale, it would cost you too much to actually build.
Right.
But when you're improving things for so many companies, you're getting more efficient services that are actually keeping up with the pace of innovation. Yeah. So you have a leg up. So if you're not in the cloud, there's also where other companies have more advantage of having all this access to services on top of where their data is. So.
Right. So pretty much every company, you can name it small, startup, too big, they're using cloud. It's allowed everywhere.
Yeah. And of course, I think with AI, you're going to see kind of a lot of mix of things, because there's going to be more real-time applications, and real-time applications tend to have this shared thing that some things are on edge. And so I think we're just going to see more cloud and more edge.
Yeah. I'm going to time you.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Okay.
And 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you're going to share cloud developer roadmap.
Okay.
So
you're timing me.
I'm timing you. So let me start the timer. 30-second cloud developer roadmap. Go.
Okay, cloud developer roadmap. The first thing is you have to learn the fundamentals to know what you want to specialize in. So where I would start, for example, let's start with AWS. We're going to start with the cloud practitioner certification. The certification is not going to get you the job. It's going to introduce you to fundamentals and help you as a starting point. From there, I would click a cloud adjacent skill, either Linux, programming, or networking. Pick one of them and start learning that. Next, I would start right away with hands-on projects because I think that's really where you're going to actually learn. You could use more certs to give you a guide, but I would say pick a project that you could either help a nonprofit, help something local, maybe open source, contribute to open source. I actually listed a few on my page also recently that could be resume building. I think that's really what's going to be what you use in an interview. From there, you might add many things to it, from cloud to software engineering. And I think learning through needing to build something is the way. If you want to add specific guides, you could use a course. There are courses. You could do like a certification like solution architecture to give you more fundamentals if you still aren't sure. Again, there's no one way, but that's what I would do. And I would say like you will also find the answer by just continuing to be curious. So just keep being curious.
Bingo.
Oh my gosh, it was a minute, but it's okay. And I'm still
30 seconds.
30.
Good job.
Okay, that was the best I can.
That was good. No, I don't want to stop you. You were like doing such an awesome job. So, okay. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do like some fast-paced, rapid-fire questions.
I love rapid fire. Let's see how well
The mic.
Maybe I'll pin this.
Yeah, pin it. So
Let's clip it back.
okay. So rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Okay, Linda, wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Is that like?
Sometimes it's a jumping jack.
Oh, you wanted to do the jumping jack. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Like Linda.
Not a good idea. Okay, ready?
Yes.
So it's gonna be like fun. We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna have fun?
We're gonna try to have fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, are you ready?
Yes. Born ready.
Okay. Work from home or office?
Work from home. Office sometimes if my team is there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Software engineer versus cloud developer?
Now cloud developer, but I have a soft spot for software engineering. And
Python versus JavaScript?
JavaScript, although I'm now doing a lot more Python and actually I love it. JavaScript is like my home.
Oh, okay. Which one, if somebody wants to learn, which one they should learn?
Python.
Okay. VS Code versus Sublime? Sublime is my favorite.
VS Code. Sorry.
Hands down.
Of course.
Okay, dark versus light mode?
Dark.
Duh.
Yeah.
My last and favorite question, I think we have talked about it briefly, like AI.
Yes.
What's your biggest hack with working with AI that like people who are watching, they can also use?
So I think we each kind of find, I think over time we're all going to build ourselves like this AI assistant thing and personalization. I think we have to embrace adaptation. And I know this is said a lot, but the job you have now, I think it's not that the jobs will be replaced or some maybe will, not that fast. I think most of them will be kind of optimized, I guess, to not do certain tedious things, and people who use AI will get the job over those who do not.
Right.
And I think learning how to use the tool, just like anything, is just a quicker adaptation. So for me, I embrace using AI for many things. So for example, when I'm doing boilerplate code, when I'm like,
wait, what is boilerplate?
Oh, sorry. When I'm using like when I need to start from a starting point of building something.
Okay.
There's boilerplate is kind of like the template you would use.
Got it.
So let's say if I'm doing infrastructure as code or something like that, where I'm giving myself instruction on architecture, right? So I could have like this simple one to template that I could start with. That's like, also there's a lot more, obviously, code helpers that are secure for private data. Of course, that's totally different. When you're doing it for work, obviously don't just give your data to a public model. Do it in a secure way.
Yeah.
But I think learning how to use it both at work and personal, I use it from everything with my kids' storytelling to literally scripting videos, of course, to I think I use it a lot for brainstorming.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of hallucinations sometimes. You have to like always like check.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great starting point, especially when you're stuck.
Yeah.
And I think one hack I love, one of my favorite prompts you ask over a hack is like, especially when I'm doing content, is like explain something to my friend over drinks. Like I give it like what I want, like a technical thing. And I'm like, hey, can you help me? Like, how would I explain this to my friend over drinks? Why I like that is it's not elevator pitch that limits it to 30 seconds,
right,
but it still has a casual tone and sometimes helps me brainstorm.
Right.
Sometimes it adds fluff.
I love that.
But it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite.
I'm gonna use it.
And then I always pro tip, always ask it like 10 times to go back and be like, hey, can you browse if the model could browse? And this is for stuff obviously that's not like that's public information, not for things that are supposed to be private, but for content, like most of the stuff I'm doing is not stuff that's like not allowed to be said. So
yeah.
I tell it to browse to see if there's to make sure it's verified and give me the links. So I almost like where did you get it? Some Perplexity AI actually gives you links.
Okay.
But if you could browse, verify, sometimes it'll catch itself, sometimes it'll hallucinate. So obviously always check, but it does help and save a lot of time.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Linda. This was so fun, and I hope everybody who watched found it useful. You can find Linda where?
Linda Viva on all social platforms. So it's LINDA VIVAH, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I need to start doing YouTube. I put the shorts there, but I got to do the
wall. Let's get likes on this video.
Yes.
And then we will convince Linda to come to YouTube.
But yeah, and feel free to reach out any questions. And I also have a broadcast channel, so that's sometimes helpful for people if they want to if they really need to be motivated in cloud. And
yeah, you can really push them.
Yes.
I love it. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.
Why do some tech jobs have multiple names? Coders, programmers, developers might seem all the same. Data analysts, data scientists are commonly confused. DevOps, infra, SRE, the lines blur and get diffused. See, back in the 80s, roles were clear in their aims. Each had their set task distinct roles, they stayed in their lanes. Software devs wrote code, system admins managed service. Data analysts crunched numbers, delivering insights to stakeholders. Fast forward to now, responsibilities blurred. Machine learning, cloud, and cyber make the lines obscure. You might ask, how did we get here? Let's review the highlights to clear up misconceptions and see how tech roles have intertwined. In the 2000s, phone, internet, social media caused companies to drown in what we now call big data. A challenge arose. Who'll store it? Manage the infra. Data engineers entered the chat to sort the mess, yeah. With robust infrastructure, and now it's got more complex. Data analysts existed, making data make sense. But deeper dives were needed, miles to predict future trends. Enter data scientists exploring like the tech.